Today I'm going to do a brief unboxing and review of the Bachmann Class 37012 Loch Rannoch. Never thought I'd find myself doing one of these unboxings. In fact, I didn't understand the point of them first time I watched one, and then I started to realize anytime that I wanted to buy something, whether it be a locomotive or anything else, if I wanted to research whether or not it was something that I wanted, this was the best resource available. And so since I could not find one for this loco when I was interested in purchasing it, I decided that I would fill the void and put one together myself here to pay homage and thanks to all of the people that take their time out to do these that I've benefited from. Namely, I would point out Intercity 82, Everard Junction, Dave Class 47 at Dean Park Station, and Graham at Lakeside. I found all four of those resources to be spectacular. If you haven't checked them out, I would encourage you to do so. They are great resources to find out more about modeling, as well as about prospective locomotives that you might be interested in. So without further ado, this is the new loco in question here. It is 32-790ADS. This is the DCC sound version, and it's a 37.0, which is why it was of particular interest to me. I already own a number of 37.4s. This was the first 37.0 that I'd come across, so I was quite interested in this one. I've seen quite a few pop up on eBay from time to time, like Viking, but I was interested in getting this newer one. This has the DCC Select decoder in it. My understanding is that means it can't be reblown. However, from playing around with this already, I will say that I'm quite happy with the sounds in here. It's got the Southwest digital file loaded. As usual, comes in the usual Bachmann packaging. And you'll see on the top there you have the etched nameplates and all of the accessories, including the blanking plate. Let's pop it open and take a quick look. First thing you'll notice is, as usual, it's up to the same usual high quality for a Bachmann loco. And the real fan in there. Really nice detail on the sides, including the Eastfield Scotty dog there. Very nice handrails. And of course the thing that makes the 37.0 so attractive, I think, in my opinion at least anyway, and probably in many others, is the split head code there. Let's pull it out a little further, put the packaging down to the side there. You'll see it does of course have the sprung buffers, whether or not you love or hate them. And the windscreen wipers. So let's pop it on the track here and we'll give it a quick run around. I apologize in advance for the track. This is my son's small layout with the Bachmann track, the Easy Track, just so that I had something quick to do a test on here. So here she is on the track. I'll do my best to go through some of the sounds and also discuss some of the things I've noticed just in running it around the track for a few minutes here. I'm using the MRC Tech 6 sound controller 2.0, which I also just got. I'm used to using the Hornby E-Link controller from my laptop. I got this since it would be a little bit easier to do tests and things like this, just plug and play without having to get the laptop out. So I'm still getting a little bit familiar with this new controller, and it does seem to have a few kinks, let's say. I've noticed when trying to operate the sounds, but that might just also be user errors. I'm getting used to this. But let's get started by getting it started up. It does have multi-start. When you look in the instruction manual here, it does give you a couple of different options for the engine start. So you have function 1 on, you can do on off to do a failed start, and on off on to do priming pump, and then a long start. So we'll start with the fail, then the long start, and then we'll go to the I'll turn it off and we'll do a standard start. Okay, so next up I'm just going to do the regular start. And then this is the shutdown sound. Now, one of the first things I do notice, and I'm not sure how well this is picked up on the camera, but the sounds are quite quiet compared to the other 37s that I own, and that may be perhaps that I'm unable to adjust the volume. It does say, and I've not seen this before in the other instructions that I've had, that you can adjust the master volume using function 15. However, on the MRC Tech 6 sound controller that I'm using, it doesn't allow me to adjust that master volume. It just simply seems to switch the sound on and off. So I'm unable to cycle through the 5 different volume settings. So I'm going to assume that by default Bachmann has this on the lowest volume setting, and that typically you'd be able to cycle through these 5 different volume settings using function 15, and I'm just not able to access the other 4 using this controller. I will confirm if that's the case using my Hornby controller at a later stage, and post something in the comments once I've been able to confirm that. But it is quite quiet, and I've noticed when running this around the track for a few minutes this afternoon that once it gets up to speed, the sound of the track actually drowns out the sound of the Loco. So that will require some adjustment if it's if I can't adjust the master volume settings using function 15, then I'd want to adjust that using the CV settings. You will have noticed also that I am able to control the cab lights as well as the directional lights. You can turn those on and off. Obviously, when you change direction of the Loco, it does change the lights. They're kind of coming up a little bit yellow or amber on the camera here, but they are in fact red, I assure you. Not sure about the kind of fading in and out. I'm not sure how prototypical that is, but it's there. I'll play some of the other sounds that are available. This is the first horn, the playable horn. And by playable, I guess they mean you can hold your finger down on the button and play it as long as you want. And the second one, then horn 2, is the two-tone horn. As such. Let's see what else we have. We have coupling and uncoupling. Now that did not sound like uncoupling to me. That was supposed to be, oh, there it is. And this is one of the strange things I've noticed, and again I think this might be something to do with this MRC Tech 6 controller. I pushed function 7, it gave us the coupling sound, but when I pushed function 8 for the uncoupling sound, that was not what we got initially. I'll try it one more time. And that time we got nothing. I'll try one more time. Yeah, same again. So perhaps and there it is. It sounds like it's somehow combining two sounds together when I push function 8. I also had some problems trying to get the guard's whistle, function 12. And still having the same problem. So I just did shift 1, 2, which is what you have to do on the MRC Tech 6 to get anything above 9. I'll try one more time, shift 1, 2, and there it is. Okay, so let's we'll start it up, get it moving around the layout. I will say the one thing that I am very impressed with on this Loco compared to many others that I've purchased is how well set up it is out of the factory. I've noticed with Hornby and their TTS Locos especially that it takes some time setting up the CVs to get the acceleration and deceleration to be realistic. This 37, to my mind, came out of the box very, very well set up. And hopefully you'll see that once we get switched on and start moving here. And you can hear now I'm demonstrating the drive hold feature, which is a rather nice feature that allows you to maintain the speed of the locomotive while opening the throttle, which I guess allows you to make more realistic kind of effects if you're pulling a heavy load. Now you do have to remember to disengage F5, otherwise you'll find what I was doing earlier was trying to figure out why I couldn't get the locomotive to stop, so make sure you remember when you've got that drive hold feature engaged. Similarly, F9 gives you a coasting feature. The coasting feature allows you to coast the revs back down to idle, and you can adjust the speed while you're coasting also. F10 gives you flange squeal. Let's see if we can get that to operate here. Again, since that's above 9, sometimes I struggle with some of those higher numbers, but let's see. And you will notice there as well, it's quite impressive the slow speed that the Loco is able to maintain, although I do notice a little bit of creep once the vehicle comes to a standstill. But again, that could also be, and I have 0 throttle at the moment, by the way, and it still occasionally is moving backwards and forwards, but again, I do wonder whether some of that is the new controller that I'm using. Something again that I'll confirm when I test this Loco using the Hornby DCC controller. The Loco does of course come with comprehensive instructions on how to use the sounds, and what you're looking at now is one of the instruction sheets. Covers some of the things that I haven't mentioned in the review, such as F7 and 8 coupling. We obviously tried those sounds a little bit, but there's also on the back page there's some an uncoupling cycle feature, which I didn't demonstrate because I honestly don't know what it is. It says a movement function to enable automatic uncoupling of tension lock and knuckle couplings. So presumably if you have some kind of magnet in your track, this allows the Loco to move back and forth, I think, or something to allow that uncoupling to take place. Not something that I'm able to test at this time, but interesting nonetheless. Perhaps something others have seen and can comment on. Spirax valve, I didn't demonstrate that because the sounds are so quiet, as I had mentioned earlier in the review, that the Spirax valve isn't really audible. Perhaps once I'm able to adjust the volume, that will be more noticeable. I've also had problems with F4, the brake air dump, but again, I think that is more my controller, or me, not the Loco itself. And I think that covers just about all of the functions that are listed here in the guide. On the back page you can see the full list. I'll put that down there for you to peruse. That's the full list of all of the functions available on this, of which there are 15 that are user selectable, everything from lights on and off, sound on and off, through all of the various different things that we demonstrated. And then there's 2 that are automatic, one being the IntelliBrake, as Bachmann call it, and the other one being the fuel pump, both of which operate automatically. So I now have this hooked up to the E-Link and Hornby's Railmaster software. just to check the volume, see if I could make that F15 change. I don't notice any difference between each of the 5 settings as I cycle between them. Maybe you can, maybe it'll pick it up on the camera, but to my ear I don't notice a huge difference. But what I thought was a failure with the MRC Tech 6 controller, just turning it on and off, appears as though that's the way you cycle through. So if I demonstrate here, I'm going to hit F15. This should be the loudest setting we're on at the moment. I hit F15 and it switches off momentarily and then back on again, and it should now be going to the next sound volume setting. I'll do it again. And again. And each time I do that, it should be adjusting the volume. I don't notice much, if any, difference at all between those 5. I mean, if there is a difference, it's very, very subtle. So I may be adjusting the CV settings or looking to change the speaker in this, because it's not particularly loud compared to some of my other Locos. That may be the one weakness that I noticed with this, and I suspect it may be the speaker, because Bachmann's probably just put in the bulk standard speaker here. I'll bring it a little bit closer to the camera and see if perhaps that helps us pick it up a little better. So again, I'm going to hit F15. Each time you hear it cut out, that's me cycling to the next volume setting. Really not much difference there at all. Here's a quick example of how well I think the Bachmann New 37 does at being realistic with its acceleration and deceleration. Here I'm going to completely mash the throttle on the Hornby Railmaster software, and then I'm going to stop. So all the way up to 80, and then from 80 down to 0. And you'll see it does a pretty good job of smoothing out the acceleration and deceleration, so it doesn't require me to be feathering the throttle to give you kind of a more authentic experience, you know, watching the Loco. So here we go. So now I'm at 80. And now I'm going to go down to 0. So I literally used the throttle like it was an on-off switch, but it was able to smooth out that acceleration and deceleration. And if I'm going at full speed, in fact I'll demonstrate, it'll take a few laps around my son's test track here for it to come to a standstill. So I'm going to go to full throttle, straight to 80. It's going to take a good few laps for it to get up to that full speed. and even when it does, once I hit stop, it's going to take a while to slow down. So I'll tell you when I'm about to hit stop, and we'll see how many laps it takes. I'll perhaps do it right at the level crossing, or the railroad crossing as it would be on my son's layout. Here we go. Stopping now. Okay, so with the Hornby it took about 3/4 of a lap. That's noticeably quicker than it was with the MRC Tech 6, which I noticed once I released the throttle back to 0, we would get a good couple of laps before it came to a standstill. All in all, I'm very, very happy with the purchase. It was a great buy. I got this from AJM Railways. It's the second time I've purchased from Amanda Jane, and the service has been fantastic. Shipping speed to the US has been unparalleled. I couldn't believe that she was able to get a package through customs and here to me in Northern Virginia in around a week. That's faster than anything that I've ever received from the UK. Yeah, very happy with the Loco, and hope this proves to be useful to some, just as previous unboxings and reviews have proven to be for me. If there's any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to you with an answer. Thanks for watching, and talk to you again. Thanks.